Hey guys, welcome to another episode of our Charity Partner Podcast series. I've got Jonah Joffe with me with the Saguaros today, and Scott with New Ways Academy. Scott, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Scott, tell everybody a little bit about New Ways Academy, kind of what you guys do, and your involvement in the Valley.
Absolutely. So New Way Academy is a nonprofit private school for kids with learning differences. So we specifically have 235 students that all have a learning difference like ADHD, dyslexia, autism. We've been around over 55 years, and we're kind of an independent school. There's really nothing like us here in the Valley.
Love it. Yeah, Jonah, I know you got some unique ties to it.
Yeah, we were just talking about it, but I actually attended New Way a long time ago. It's a very different school than it was when I was there. It's insane to see how much it's grown, but it really does change people's lives. How did you get involved with New Way?
Yeah, so I've worked in nonprofit for over 10 years. I worked at the Make-A-Wish Foundation for a number of years as well, so I love serving children in our community. But I really had an interest in doing more. New Way is more of that grassroots organization. They're truly changing the lives for kids here in our community. Our class sizes are as small as 8 to 10 kids, so that we could truly make a difference for these children. All of the integrated therapies are offered on site, so occupational therapy, reading therapy, it's all there, right there. Physical therapy as well. But I got involved, and I'm essentially our director of development, and my role is to really work within our community to unlock resources for our community, whether it be fundraising, whether it be events, whether it be tax credit programs. There's just a whole list of ways that we can seek support in our community.
So one thing when you have a school like this, it's just, unfortunately, it's never going to be inexpensive because there's so many programs. Can you tell us a little bit about what your student makeup is, and are a lot of your kids on scholarship, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we have 235 students this year. We are a 2nd through 12th grade is who we serve. As for makeup, I'd say probably half of our students are high schoolers. A few years ago, that wasn't the situation. It was more lower school in junior high. And then we started offering more of the extracurriculars for our students. So we offer flag football, we offer a prom and a homecoming, we do cheerleading, we do all the same things a typical school would do, which is what keeps our students there. So we've seen a lot more of our students are staying all the way through graduation now. Last year we had a graduating class of 33, seniors, which is really exciting. So yeah.
I know I'm proud to say that I was on the first New Way sports team. It was our flag football team. I don't think we won a single game. We had a lot of fun. But then just to see the gym the other day was, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the programs that help maybe the kids that can't afford the tuition? Because I know there are a lot of kids on scholarship.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to skip your last question. I forgot. Half of our students are on ESA. So the Empowerment Scholarship account certainly helps a lot of our families. I'd say about a quarter of our families benefit from tax credit programs. So as you know, there's 5 main tax credits in our state. The one that we benefit or we're able to use to support our students is the private school tax credit program. So in our state, you've got the individual side of it and there's the corporate side of it. So for example, an individual this year with their taxes, they can divert what they already owe the state of Arizona. As an individual filer, it's about $1,500. For a married couple, it's just short of $3,000. Again, it's the money that they already owe the state. They're just deciding where it goes. They don't want to fill potholes in our state, and they want to give it to a kid and really support their education. Yep. There's no better way to do it than this.
What are some of the kind of things you talked about? So from 2 to 12, kids are in the program. How do they kind of get involved in the program? What's the application process look like?
A lot of our students come from a broken education system. They've tried multiple schools, sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 schools they tried before New Way. I'll tell you a quick story of a student that I recently heard about that is just gut-wrenching. Her name's Faith, and she's in 8th grade right now. She's been at New Way for 4 years. She's thriving. That wasn't always the case. A few years ago, she was at a public school in the West Valley, and she had a really difficult situation. She had a class of about 30 kids. That's tough as it is, right? On top of that, her teacher would get mad at her in class and yell at her in front of all the students and say, "Why aren't you listening, Faith?" It wasn't that she wasn't listening. It was that she was fixated on an earlier question or problem, still trying to figure it out. They brought it to her principal's attention. They got her diagnosed. She was diagnosed for being on the autistic spectrum. And her principal said to the family, "She doesn't look autistic. She doesn't need those services." Obviously tough. To make matters even worse, she then had a bunch of mean girls at her school that were bullying her. They were actually beating her up.
Oh,
They would
geez.
find her in the restroom on her campus and beat her up. In fact, there was even a girl that went as far as saying, "I'm going to shoot and kill you." Okay? That's obviously not right. Her family found a new way. They knew that they needed a change. Within weeks, this girl not only is thriving socially and academically, she says the words that truly made a difference for her family. And she said, "Mom, I finally feel safe at school." Okay. That's a big priority for us. We have campus security. We treat these kids in a way that they get the whole school experience. It's a safe environment. It's a small class size experience, but they meet friends that are like them. Faith, I'm happy to say, is thriving right now academically, socially as well. She's got a whole group of girlfriends that she loves and adores. She had her first ever crush and boyfriend. It lasted 3 days, but either way, she's loving that school. She's in 8th grade, and I have fully confidence she'll be there all the way through high school.
I know she's not alone in that story. I can just say that from firsthand experience. How do we find New Way? How do parents who are going through this with their children, how do they find New Way?
Obviously, website, newwayacademy.org is the place to go. Social media is another great place to go. We have a great admissions director that will talk through all the questions. What I love about New Way is even if we're not the right fit for the student, we will work with them to find the right fit for them. We have connections all throughout the Valley. We truly want what's best for the kid.
What is the capacity? How many kids can you guys take on?
We're at 235 right now. Last year, our
max?
enrollment, last year we were at 250.
Okay.
So we certainly have some room. We're already looking at applications for enrollment for next school year because here we are at the end of October.
Yep.
But yeah, there's definitely room.
Where is the campus for everyone not familiar?
So we are off 52nd Street and just north of McDowell, right off of Oak Street. So I always tell people very close to the Papago Mountains near the Phoenix Zoo.
Yep.
Very centrally located. We serve kids throughout the Valley as far as Peoria to Queen Creek.
What's your favorite thing about working at New Way?
Hands down, the community. When you walk on campus, there's just a feeling you get, right? And Jonah, you know this past, like the families are so actively involved. They truly love what we do. They're a part of it. We have our fall festival this Friday. We have already 450 people registered to participate.
Wow.
A lot of them are volunteering. We'll come with our kid, but I'll also help at the cakewalk. I'll help at the petting zoo. Let me know how I can support, right? Like they're truly involved. They don't want to leave. Some of our kids graduate. They're like, wait, is there a New Way college? You know, like how do we stay involved? Which is to us, obviously, we're honored by that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you just asked, I think, a big question, which is people said, how can we support? How can we support? How can the community help you guys out?
Like most nonprofits, I mean, obviously, unrestricted dollars allow us to truly give these kids that extra experience. It allows us to help them with extracurricular sports, art supplies. Tax credits are definitely a big way to support our kids, to get the education they need and deserve. And again, it doesn't cost us as taxpayers anything. It's just being informed that this is an option and making that tax credit donation.
You mentioned the website. What are some other ways that people can find out about New Pathway or New Ways?
New Way Academy could be, social media, Facebook, Instagram are big for us. You could always reach out to one of our families as well. A lot of our families love to be advocates and help walk people through. They're like ambassadors, if you will. They know what that experience was like when they first joined, and they love to just help our families navigate those first few months.
So we're not going to let you get out of here without answering this question.
Okay.
But if there's one thing in your mind that separates New Way from some of the other organizations similar, what would that be?
The first thing that comes to mind, besides the community itself, and how positive and compassionate our community is, I would say is that we offer all the services on site. So gone are the days of a student having to leave school, go see a physical therapist across town, then go see a reading specialist across town. It's all done during their day. Every kid has their own unique curriculum. Not one of those 235 kids has the same schedule as another kid. It is truly individualized based on their individual needs. So if a kid really has dyslexia and they need extra reading therapy, that might be their second period one-on-one with a reading therapist every single day for that semester.
Yeah.
So that's what sets us apart.
Love that. Yeah, truly getting the hand holding that they need and walking them through everything, kind of part of the process. That's huge.
Yeah. I'd say another way too, also to get involved, even if you don't have a kid at our school and you don't know what to do to support, we have a lot of events that are unique, like a pickleball tournament. We're hosting our first ever one this January. We also have a trivia night that we do every year. We have just different events throughout the year that aren't specific to New A.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Scott. We appreciate it, and see you soon.
Awesome.
Thanks,
for having
Scott.
us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.